Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. More than a year after Operation Sindoor, the Union government has released the names of 6 military personnel who died in the line of duty during the military confrontation against Pakistan in May 2025, that is during Operation Sindoor. And now they have inscribed the names on the wall at the National War Memorial in Delhi. Now, this is nearly a year after Defense Minister Rajnath Singh declared in Parliament that no soldiers were harmed in the operation. Now, Operation Sindoor was conducted, just to remind the viewers, it was conducted in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack on April 22nd last year, in which 26 civilians, most of them tourists, lost their lives. The Indian Armed Forces had, in retaliation, struck 9 terror-linked sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, allegedly associated with Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. Now, there was no ceremonial announcement for the personnel who lost their lives. In fact, the government had until now evaded most questions around it. This has prompted the opposition to accuse the government of concealing their martyrdom and denying them due recognition for over a year. There were reports of army personnel having died in the operation, but Rajnath Singh had told the Lok Sabha that no soldiers were harmed. I'd just like to read out the quote of exactly what Rajnath Singh had said. He said, and this I'm quoting exactly what he said, have the terrorists who wiped the Sindoor off our sisters and daughters been dealt with by our forces in Operation Sindoor, eliminating their masters? The answer is yes. If you have a question to ask this. Were any of our brave soldiers harmed in this operation? The answer is no. None of our soldiers were harmed. This he had said in Lok Sabha in July 2025. And a year later now, we realize that the government has very quietly put out the names of those 6 brave hearts at the National War Memorial. Now, the opposition is saying that this is a delay in the public recognition. Why this delay happened? And I'd just like to put out a tweet by Sagarika Ghosh. And the opposition is also saying that they have not been publicly recognized the way they should have been. Why this delay? Was this public recognition neglected? Do you have the tweet of Sagarika Ghosh, Abhirami? All right. So, okay. So you try and arrange for the tweet. In the meanwhile, we'll just open the discussion now. Colonel Rohit Chaudhary, who is the chairman of the Congress ex-service department. Thank you so much, Colonel Chaudhary, for joining. We have Major General SVP Singh, retired defense analyst. So thank you so much for joining. We have Vivek Deshpande, veteran journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining. And let me begin with Colonel Rohit Chaudhary. There have been lots of tweets from the Congress, and you all had raised this issue last year as well. Now that the government has quietly done it, do you think that the government did this secretly and didn't inform anyone?
Look, this government has really put everybody, all of us, all 140 crore Indians to shame, because we are embarrassed today that our government is not recognizing the martyrdom of our soldiers. I would take you back in 2025 when this Sindoor took place, from 7th May to 10th May. After that, on 16th May, Congress party conducted their Congress Working Committee meeting and lauded our forces for doing excellent job, whatever military objective, whatever limited military objective was given to them. They were in a very good situation on 10th when the Trump-sponsored ceasefire was enforced or thopod on the entire country and the forces. Thereafter, Congress party went on, especially our ex-servicemen department, from 21st May onwards to conduct Jai Hind Sabhas to thank our forces and remember our martyrs, soldiers, those who have done good work for the nation, defended the nation. And it was, we released a list of 10 soldiers, those who martyred during this Op Sindoor. All this while, our government was refusing to accept that any loss has taken place. And especially it was a nightmare for the entire Indian citizens when on 28th July 2025 in the parliament, Rajnath Singh ji said कि किसी भी सैनिक की जवान की क्षति नहीं हुई है. It was a horror for the families of our soldiers, those who had given their life for the nation.
No, but do
And
you believe?
we could
Do
not
you
take
believe,
it.
sir? No, sir. Do you believe that the government has tried to hide this all along for the last 1 year, and now suddenly they put out the names of
Yes.
these martyrs?
Yes. After that, after Sindoor, 78 days, Rajnath Singh ji lied to the nation in parliament, and we objected to it, and we did a press conference in Bihar, in Patna. From there, we produced the families of two martyrs, one from BSF and one from army, in front of the entire nation, and we remembered them, their soldiers, the soldiers, their sacrifices, and honored the families. And all this while, government stand was very clear that there was no loss. And now, after 14 months, etching the name of our soldiers on the National War Memorial. It is an important activity. We have thousands of people, those who have martyred from 1947, First World War, Second World War, to now, till date. The martyrs' names are etched on the either earlier on India Gate
So, what
and then
what are
on the National War
Congress's
Memorial.
right? But I would like to understand from you that from your party, what are the basic complaints around this issue? Is it the delay? Is it the fact that the government hid this for last 1 year and now they put out the names of the six brave hearts in the National War Memorial? What is Congress actually saying on this?
Congress stand is very clear right from the day one when the ops Sindoor finished. We wanted government to come out in the to do a debate in the parliament and tell the nation that what exactly had happened, what how this operations progressed, what are the achievements, and what who all are the martyrs. We must acknowledge their sacrifices. That was the Congress stand, and even today, their recognition is very important. I would quote one of the families, Surendra Moga from Balsamand, Rajasthan. His mother, after seeing Rajnath Singh's statement in the parliament, she said that I cannot take it and I can't use those words. What she do use, she what that video I can put it across in front of you so that you can air it everywhere. She said that it was very objectionable language. I cannot use it. It is unparliamentary. But unparliamentary language and the statement was used by Rajnath Singh to not to acknowledge the martyrdom of our soldiers, sacrifices of our soldiers. This has never happened right from 1947 till date. We have recognized the sacrifices of our soldiers. This kind of a work, this kind of our irresponsible work is done by Pakistanis who send their regulars to fight in the and do anti-national activities in our Indian
All right.
territory. When they get killed, Pakistan refuses to accept them. Whereas it has never happened in our Indian history. Our military recognizes them. Our DGMO said we lost 5 soldiers. Yes, he said 5 soldiers because he was a military operation uh, officer. We lost 2 from Air Force. So that is fine. Air Force has recognized their people. Army has recognized their people. But this government has not recognized the martyrdom and the sacrifices of our soldiers. And I have no I will not mince my words that for making such a false statement in the parliament, in front of the entire nation.
Right.
Rajnath Singh, defense minister, should be impeached. This is the stand I will take.
Right. Okay.
This
So
is the
you're saying
stand
that,
we must take, all Indians must take,
right.
that Rajnath Singh should resign.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That the call should be for the resignation, not for the impeachment. I'll come to General SVP Singh. Do you also feel, sir, that there was a delay on the part of the government? Did the government deliberately try and hide the details? Because Rajnath Singh's, I'll just before I come to you, I would like to read out the tweet by Sagrika Ghosh, Trinamool Congress Rajya Sabha MP. She says this is extremely serious, and the two pictures which you see is of the picture when Rajnath Singh was speaking in Lok Sabha. And she says, extremely serious. If 6 Indian soldiers were martyred during Operation Sindoor, how did the defense minister tell Parliament that no soldiers were harmed? Parliament deserves the truth. The families of our martyrs deserve the truth. India deserves the truth. And she's tagged the tweet to Narendra Modi. The government must explain why Parliament was misled. Uh, I will come to Major General SVP Singh. What is your feeling, sir? Did the government hide? Did the government lie to the people? And the very fact that Rajnath Singh spoke inside Lok Sabha, this is a misleading statement, isn't it?
Yes, Nilu, in the interest of democracy, transparency plays a very important role, and it's a must-do action of governments. But at the same time, there are certain compulsions of the government during the operations, including post operations, and as well as certain strategic reasons that certain information is withheld, not publicly acknowledged. That the statement which came out in Parliament on 28th July, I think the most appropriate piece would be for the minister himself to answer this, since the names have appeared on the National War Memorial now. But however, see, let us look at it in the larger strategic interest in how the wars are being fought today on three planes: the political, the information, and as well as the physical. Now, all these things get into the narrative control, and we have seen how this narrative control Pakistan had overtaken us during the war itself. So, certain things may have been a wake up call and withheld. Now, a possible reason which I can say is acknowledging these casualties as I see them, they perhaps in the northern theater belong to certain formations. Moment you acknowledge this publicly, you're also leaking out firstly your own orbit.
No,
You
sir,
want to
but no, sir. The delay in the first few weeks or maybe a month is understandable, but the delay by 1 year, that is something which I'm sure people will be led to ask questions, like what Sagrika goes and what Colonel Rohit Chaudhary is pointing out. It will
yes.
lead everyone to believe that the government was trying to hide. The very fact that Rajnath Singh spoke inside Parliament, obviously the opposition will ask questions and say that apparently defense minister is lying inside the house.
I totally agree. That's why I mentioned that in democracy, transparency is paramount. And secondly, the minister having made the statement in the parliament on 28th July, it's most appropriate for him to clarify now what are the justifications of the government rather than us uh, speculating and making out our own conjectures, which may be inappropriate as well. You see, because Operation Sindoor has set out a new statecraft, a new military diplomacy, I would say, new military policy, proactive policy. So, what are the compulsions? The government should be answering on this. That the military and the Air Force, Army, they acknowledge the casualties speaks for itself that there was a transparency on the part of the armed forces. So it goes to the credit of the armed forces, to their character, that they stand tall in the nation's eyes.
No, but General VP Singh, SVP Singh, do you, as a person from the armed forces, do you feel that the government has been unfair to those 6 unsung heroes? Why a delay of 1 year? As a retired person from the armed forces, what do you feel? Did the government delay in the public recognition of these 6 brave hearts of Operation Sindoor?
There's a definite delay. There's no doubt about it. 1 year plus is a long time. There's no doubt about it. So I would just repeat what I said. It's for the government and the minister to clarify this. Secondly, it also has an effect on the morale part of it, morale of the units and the families who are hurt the most, and also the units losing a man in the unit and formation and he is not being acknowledged, you know tells on the morale of the unit, because they want their men to be owned up. So are the families, even more important. There's no doubt. But warfare has been such that such disclosures have taken time. You see, you take the recent example of Iran US war itself. The whole state of casualties, the killed, and the degree of casualties suffered, both human as otherwise, have been withheld. And they are all in the zone of speculation. So it was in Sindoor. You see, Sindoor, Pakistan went overboard in declaring what India had suffered the casualties, which was not so, particularly the Air Force part. So I would say that this part of it remains with the government, that the government has acknowledged now and decorated these martyrs, the war heroes, is a point which we should also appreciate, belated though it may be.
All right, I'll come to Vivek now. Vivek, how do you see this story? 1 year later, everyone realizes that what Rajnath Singh at that point of time, that is in July last year, and how he informed that there were no casualties, but all of a sudden, discreetly, the public recognition happens. The media runs to public war memorial, the war memorial, to take pictures of that wall on which those 6 names are subscribed. Is this a tough political question now before the Modi government, and also for Rajnath Singh specifically?
I was listening to both the former uh, senior army officers, and I think some of the points could be valid. Like, for example, when the war is on, you may not reveal the casualties of your side. That is okay. I mean, just to keep up the morale of the armed forces as also that of the countrymen. But once the war is over, there's no point in hiding that information, because it is at the end of the day question of acknowledging the martyrdom of the soldiers. So you cannot be waiting for 1 year to declare those names, or they have not even declared them. They have just honored them. They have just inscribed their names on the scroll of honor there on the in the war memorial. The question is, you should have publicly acknowledged. You should have held a press conference before you did that. You should have officially announced that these were our martyrs, and we did not deliberately tell their names or reveal their identity during those times because it was necessary to keep up the morale of the armed forces. That you could have very easily said. You did not do that. So what I suspect is it was not for any military expediency that the government decided to hide their names or hide their numbers. It was for their own political expediency that they decided to hide it. Because the whole Operation Sindoor was mired in different controversies. The manner in which it was called off, I mean, a 3-day war is never heard of. You were going hammer and tongs against Pakistan before the war started, and you started the war, and suddenly on the 3rd day, you called it off at the instance of the Americans. That is what the Americans claim. And there are reasons enough to believe that what Trump was saying was correct, because you have never falsified his claim with any solid evidence. So this whole Operation Sindoor was mired in the controversy, and they did not want to add the casualty figure to that of the people who died, of the soldiers who died, as well as the number of players that we lost. I mean, that also was a point of contention, and that also they didn't reveal. So it was for their own political expediency that they decided to hide it for this long. And now, and in any case, if some people, some soldiers have died in a war, you have this is a the process of decoration takes place at some point of time in future, right? I mean, it took place 1 year after that. war was over, so-called war was over. Now, if at any point of time in future this is going to be revealed, then what's the point in holding it back? I mean, it's foolish. It is not only expedient, but it's foolish. But in a country where the prime minister goes on record during the Galwan clash episode that no one has entered the country, the prime minister says that China has not entered the country. He is insulting our 20 martyrs who died there in the fisticuff with the Chinese soldiers. Because if Chinese did not come into Indian territory, then where did our soldiers die? Did they die in the Chinese territory? I mean, this is a question that begs answer. If 20 soldiers had died in the Galwan clash, if the prime minister says that the Chinese did not come into Indian territory, then where did our 20 soldiers die? Did we cause an incursion in the Chinese territory, and there the Chinese did a pushback and our soldiers died there in clash with the Chinese soldiers? So where did our soldiers die? Did they die in the Chinese territory? I mean, if the prime minister of the country says that, then you cannot expect Rajnath Singh to say anything different. After all, Rajnath Singh is his junior in terms of seniority and in terms of power, everything. So I'm sure Rajnath Singh must have been told not to reveal that, because Rajnath Singh is not that kind of a person. If you see his old videos, you can see a video of Rajnath Singh heaping a lavish praise on Pandit Nehru. Hmm. And you can see some latest videos of Rajnath Singh virtually insulting Pandit Nehru. So, for Rajnath Singh, it's not a political expediency of the party as a whole, but also of his own individual political career. So, he has resorted to claiming that none of the soldiers has died and all. I think it's a mess. I mean, the BJP should find better ways of doing their politics than using our armed forces or our soldiers uh, their benefit in the political tug of war with the opposition. Nilu.
Right. All right. Let me come to now coming for the concluding remarks. Major General SVP Singh, what is your feeling? Should Rajnath Singh come out and apologize, or at least clarify, if not apologize, clarify to the people that why this delay happened for over a year, and then probably that would assuage the sentiments, and even the opposition might get a convincing answer. What is your feeling, sir?
Absolutely. You see, the government has to come. It has to rise above political manifestations and manipulations of the day. Armed forces are not to be affected by the politics. That's very important. So the government must come out with the rationale which led them to this action. And if they can justify it to the nation, it will be so much the better. Secondly, see, I would also recall that certain information which I said are not disclosed, or disclosures are made later, because it cannot be secrecy forever. Information management has to be controlled and decontrolled. That's very important. Just to reflect in 1971 war, just imagine 93,000 Pakistan POWs captured and returned. And I think we had about 39, I may be wrong in this figure, who became prisoners of war. And the government of the day had never disclosed these names till date. And the families have been fighting. My own unit officer, his brother-in-law, you must have heard the name of Damayanti Tambe, that time
Yes.
national badminton champion. My unit officer, we are bunker mates in the war. And nothing happened. The family fought till this day. The lady wife remembers him as alive. So those things also matter. You see, whereas we returned 93,000 prisoners and we could not get back our prisoners, what was the political compulsions there when the military was asking for its personnel to come back? So
Absolutely.
I think you made a very valid point, Neelu, that the government must get on board to disclose, to justify, to explain to the nation. And I think that
Absolutely.
much they can come up taller in the eyes of the nation, and putting politics absolutely in the back burner in this case, and to
Right.
uphold their sacrifices in the eyes of their families, and to that the honor of the unit, the Paltan, for which they work and die. Naam Namak Nishan.
Absolutely. In fact, before I come for the last question to Rohit Chaudhary, there's just few questions. If you look at the whole story in entirety, how Operation Sindoor played out, after that, a year later, government recognizes these six brave hearts. And what are the questions? Question number one: why was this information hidden from the people of India for 1 year? That's a very basic question. Will the government answer? We are not sure. Second question is why the families of the martyrs were kept away from the honor, because that was the martyrs, but that was the right of the martyrs family. And why was this right not given to them? Why were the martyrs kept away from that honor? Third question is why people of India were not given the opportunity to pay respect to the martyrs for full 1 year. That's a very logical question. And the last question, of course, is that why did Rajnath Singh did not quote the exact figure at that point of time? Why did he say that there were no deaths? These are the basic questions, and that's exactly the question which the opposition is raising. But forget the opposition for a while, but just look at the story in entirety, and these are the most logical questions. Rohit Chaudhary, I'll come to you. Colonel Chaudhary, what would you really like to say towards the end?
Look, I understand that while the operation is on, there is a psychological operations are also on, and we don't disclose certain inputs. We don't disclose that what casualties we have suffered. It's a very normal thing. But after 78 days, when Rajnath Singh says in the parliament that we have not lost any of the soldiers, that is something not palatable. It is not acceptable at any cost. There was no reason, and there are as Vivek ji rightly said, basically they wanted to expedite their expediency of the political uh, aims of the BJP. That is why they have not disclosed it. They do the chest dumping that we have done so much and we have not lost anything. That is the wrong chest thumping. Paltan ki izzat is very important. For us, it is very important that our soldiers, they should be remembered, those who have made sacrifices. They are heroes of our nation. They are heroes of our Paltans, and people look towards, soldiers look towards them, and they say that let me be like that hero, let me be like Bana Singh, let me be like any other PVC, MVC, or Veer Chakra, or anybody. So this is an inspiration. We drive inspiration out of it. So it is very important to give recognition to them, and public recognition is most important. Paltan gives recognition, Army has given, Air Force has given recognition, whereas the government has not given any recognition. This is what is our burn, and we will not allow it. And we had flagged these things on 30th July 2025, and we have been doing it all through. And now the government has inscribed their names on the National War Memorial. It is a good step, but it is a very, very delayed public recognition. Another thing, there was no reason for Rajnath Singh to make such a statement, false statement in the parliament. There are a number of other forums. They would have, not disclosed or not lied in front of the parliament, in front of the nation. They would have withheld this information. They could have disclosed this information in all party meeting. Parliament has got, all of them have taken oath of secrecy. It could have been discussed in the Standing Committee on Defense. There are different forums where it could have been discussed and informed to the people that these are the losses, these are the things, these are the lesson learned. This is what our government thinks about it. We do not want to disclose it publicly because our foreign policy has failed, and we have to go and send delegations of about 56 or 60 MPs to various nations to tell that that we have done wonders and we have not surrendered to the Trump by doing ceasefire when our forces were almost in the advantageous position and Pakistan was in a difficult situation, and the limited political narrative or objective was given to our forces. they were given to target 9 objectives of their terrorist camps. They did it beautifully. Thereafter, they have, the operations unfolded, and we did inflicted huge casualties and damages to their strategic infrastructure. That was very good, and we were very rightly poised to destroy Pakistan. Our forces were well poised, and
Right.
we
All
were
right.
in a position to
Right.
dismantle Pakistan into 5-6 pieces, and probably we would have taken POJK, as Rajnath Singh and Modi ji, they have been telling that we will take POK. So it means that was not the narrative, that was not the aim. Do not mislead the nation. Do not mislead the nation. I want to tell from through your channel. I want to drive one more point home, that Rajnath Singh has lied to the nation, lied in the parliament all through our life. We always have been saying that do not use unparliamentary language, because the parliament is the most sacred institution of our
Right.
democracy.
All right.
And Rajnath Singh has lied in that temple of democracy. He should resign. He should be impeached. This is what we demand. And
All right.
thanks that they have, after so many days, so many months, they have recognized the sacrifices. And hats off to our soldiers, our forces, and salute from a soldier to
Right.
the soldiering
Okay.
community. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
I'll get a last word from Vivek. Vivek, now, what do you think that Rajnath Singh will at all come and clarify on this? Do you see the possibility of him doing that?
No, I don't see any possibility because the BJP is in the habit of reasoning it out. They never acknowledge any fault. I mean, for the first time in so many years, they have acknowledged that there was theft in Ram Temple, and that is something which they
So
could not
suppose
have.
there could be some
Uh,
change. If Champat Rai's resignation can be sought, then there can be a clarification from Rajnath Singh also.
I don't think they will do it because for them it doesn't make much of a difference. Because the theft in Ram Temple makes a world of difference for them because their core voter has been antagonized by that. Forget about remaining voters; they are not. They don't bother about it. But on this particular front, I don't think their core voters will be antagonized, so they don't care about it. If he does, well and good. If he doesn't, then you must acknowledge that he is working as a very loyal foot soldier of the BJP and he has a limited mandate. He cannot go beyond that. So I think that's the story of BJP all through last 12 years.
Right.
We can't expect any wonderful or difference between what they did
Absolutely.
yesterday and what they will do tomorrow. Yes.
Right. So I guess the nation will be left for an implied understanding of this whole issue. BJP years, maybe months later, can always say that, yes, we put out the soldiers, the names on the roll of honor at War Memorial. What more do you want? Why do you want to seek a clarification? This could be an answer, maybe not immediately, but after a few weeks or months, BJP might turn back and say. But yes, will Rajnath Singh clarify? Will he come out and speak? Why did he say that there were no deaths inside Parliament? I'm not sure whether they will do that. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Major General SVP Singh. It was a pleasure having you on the program. Colonel Rohit Chaudhary, thank you so much. Vivek, thanks a lot.
Thank you.